Step back to 1963, jukeboxes glowing, radios buzzing, and a world on the edge of Beatlemania. Surf, soul, novelty, even foreign voices filled the charts, many vanishing after one shining moment. So here's the question, which of these one-song wonders from 1963 do you still remember? Number 1. Dominique by the Singing Nun. In late 1963, America's #1 pop star wasn't Elvis or the Beach Boys, it was a Belgian nun. Sister Luc Gabrielle, known as Yesteryear, Sister Smile, recorded a gentle French ballad about Saint Dominic. Armed with only her guitar and a lilting voice, she created something completely different from the rock and soul dominating jukeboxes. Released in October 1963, Dominique soared to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, holding #1 for 4 weeks. It even knocked aside Elvis Presley and Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. Audiences were captivated, and she soon appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show. For one shining moment, innocence ruled the charts. But Sister Smile never repeated that success, leaving Dominique as a heavenly yet fleeting one-hit wonder. Number 2. Sukiyaki by Kyu Sakamoto. In the summer of 1963, an unfamiliar voice drifted across American radios, singing entirely in Japanese. The original title was Ue o Mui Te Eruko, I Look Up As I Walk, but US labels renamed it Sukiyaki. Despite the language barrier, its bittersweet melody spoke to everyone. The single climbed all the way to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, staying there for 3 weeks, still the only Japanese language song ever to top the US charts. Listeners may not have understood the words, but they felt the heartbreak in every note. Kyu remained a star in Japan, but Sukiyaki was his lone American triumph. A timeless reminder that music's emotion transcends language. Number 3. Rhythm of the Rain by the Cascades. In early 1963, a soft, melancholic ballad drifted onto the airwaves, sounding almost like the sky itself was singing. San Diego band The Cascades released Rhythm of the Rain in January, and its gentle harmonies captured a mood that was both soothing and heartbreaking. The song tells of lost love, with the rain as a stand-in for sorrow. Its echoing production and clean vocal blend made it stand apart from the louder rock records of the time. By March, it had climbed to #3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and sold more than 1 million copies.
Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain.
Though the group never reached that success again, Rhythm of the Rain became a timeless staple, later covered by artists like Dan Fogelberg and Jason Donovan. For listeners in 1963, it was a haunting soundtrack to rainy days and broken hearts. Number 4. Tell Him by the Exciters. Late in 1962 and rolling into 1963, radio stations buzzed with a fiery anthem that practically shouted empowerment.
Tell him that you're never gonna leave this.
Tell Him by the Exciters burst onto the charts with lead singer Brenda Reed's urgent vocals, urging young women to declare their love instead of waiting in silence.
Tell him that you're always gonna love this.
It was bold, brash, and full of energy, a perfect example of the girl group sound that defined the early 60s. By January 1963, the single had rocketed into the US top 10 and also found success overseas.
Tell him right now.
Although the Exciters would influence later acts, their style echoing in girl groups and even inspiring covers by artists like Billy Davis and Hello, they never matched the impact of this one defining hit. Tell Him remains a snapshot of teenage confidence and excitement, forever frozen in the pop energy of Number 5. Hello Mudda, Hello Fada by Allan Sherman. In the summer of 1963, the airwaves made room for comedy.
Hello, mother. Hello, father.
Allan Sherman, a sharp-witted parodist, turned a childhood experience into pop gold. With Hello Mudda, Hello Fada, a novelty tune written as a letter from a kid stuck at summer camp, backed by a playful orchestral arrangement, Sherman rattled off complaints about poison ivy, bad food, and miserable weather. Parents and children alike laughed along, because nearly everyone could relate to camp woes. The song shot to #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in August.
And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining.
Though Sherman released other parody albums, this single became his cultural peak. It was funny, catchy, and uniquely of its time. After the summer of '63, the camp letter faded from the charts, but it cemented Sherman's legacy as a master of musical humor. Number 6. I Wonder What She's Doing Tonight by Barry and the Tamerlanes. In 1963, Barry Dvorak and his group the Tamerlanes delivered a wistful ballad that resonated with lovesick teenagers everywhere.
I wonder what she's doing tonight.
The song opens with a simple question, what is she doing tonight? And spins it into a heartfelt story of longing and regret. With its smooth harmonies and gentle rhythm, the track stood apart from the high-energy rock and novelty hits of the time. Released in the fall of 1963, it climbed into the Billboard Top 40, peaking at number 21.
I thought that I could do without her, thought that I could get along just fine.
Bittersweet lyrics and polished arrangement made it a popular slow dance choice at school gyms and sock hops. But the group never scored another charting hit. I Wonder What She's Doing Tonight became their one shining entry, a perfect snapshot of teenage yearning preserved in the music of 1963. Number 7. Just One Look by Doris Troy. Sometimes a song needs only a few seconds to grab you, and in 1963, Doris Troy proved it. With her commanding voice and gospel-trained delivery, she recorded Just One Look, a track that wastes no time jumping straight into its unforgettable hook. Released in the spring of 1963, the song reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its blend of soulful urgency and pop accessibility made it irresistible on jukeboxes and radio stations across the country.
Just one look, and I felt so hard.
Although Troy continued performing and writing, even penning hits for others, she never returned to the US charts under her own name. Just One Look lived on through covers by the Hollies and Linda Ronstadt. But for Doris Troy, it remained her single shining hit, a powerhouse moment of soul in the pop landscape of 1963. Number 8. Killer Joe by the Rockefellers. In 1963, a Filipino family band made a splash on the American pop charts with an energetic dance tune called Killer Joe.
Look at Killer Joe go, dancing with Maureen.
The Rockefellers, made up of a father and his 4 sons, brought a lively mix of doo-wop harmonies and early rock energy that instantly caught listeners' attention. Released in the spring, the single climbed into the top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its bouncy rhythm and playful lyrics made it a favorite at parties, fitting right into the dance craze era alongside the twist and the Watusi.
He don't act like he knows.
Despite the breakthrough, the Rockefellers couldn't follow it up with another hit. Their brief moment in the spotlight left Killer Joe as their sole legacy on the US charts, a joyful reminder of how even one song could turn a family band into national stars if only for a season. Number 9. Sally, Go Round the Roses by the Jaynetts. In 1963, a mysterious girl group ballad crept onto the charts, sounding darker than the usual pop fare. The Jaynetts' Sally Go Round the Roses combined echoing production, layered vocals, and an almost haunting mood that felt years ahead of its time. The song was released in August and quickly climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its cryptic lyrics sparked endless speculation. Was it about heartbreak, betrayal, or something more secretive? Listeners couldn't quite pin it down, but that uncertainty made it unforgettable. The Jaynetts never scored another major hit, and the group itself was more of a studio creation than a long-term act. Still, Sally Go Round the Roses stands as one of the most atmospheric and enigmatic one-hit wonders of the early 60s, a ghostly echo from 1963's airwaves. Number 10, A Watusi by Ray Barretto. 1963 was a year when Latin rhythms found their way into American pop, and none made a bigger splash than Ray Barretto's El Watusi.
Caballero, ay, acá vendrá Watusi.
Driven by lively percussion and jazz-infused brass, the track brought Afro-Cuban sounds to mainstream audiences at a time when dance crazes were dominating. Released early in the year, the single rose to number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Barretto the first Latin artist to score a major U.S. pop hit.
Ese mulato que mide 7 pies.
Its call-and-response vocals and irresistible beat made it a staple at parties, where dancers could try the Watusi, a dance craze that swept the early 60s. Though Barretto went on to a respected twisted jazz and salsa career. El Watusi remained his only big American pop crossover. For many listeners, it was their first introduction to Latin soul, a sound that would only grow stronger in the years ahead. Number 11, Cry Baby by Garnet, Mimms, and the Enchanters. Soul music was blossoming in 1963, and few debuts were as powerful as Garnet, Mimms, and the Enchanters' Cry Baby. Mimms' raw, emotional delivery soaring over gospel-inspired backing vocals, the track hit listeners straight in the heart. Released in August 1963, Cry Baby climbed to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart.
Welcome back home.
Its pleading lyrics and passionate intensity made it a standout in an era when soul was beginning to define American music. Although Garnet, Mimms influenced many, Janis Joplin would later turn Cry Baby into one of her signature songs. He never returned to the pop charts with the same force. For the Enchanters, this song was their one lasting mark, a soul masterpiece that still stirs emotions decades later. Number 12, You Don't Have to Be a Baby to Cry by the Caravelles. In 1963, a soft and delicate tune from two young women in England floated across the Atlantic and onto American radio. The Caravelles, a British duo, delivered You Don't Have to Be a Baby to Cry with hushed harmonies and a lullaby-like charm that stood out from the louder pop of the era. Released in the fall of 1963, the single reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100.
You don't have to be a baby to cry.
Its gentle message, the tears of heartbreak are not just for children, resonated with teens and adults alike. The intimate production gave it a timeless, almost whispering quality that listeners found irresistible. Though the Caravelles never repeated their success, this one song carried them into pop history. You Don't Have to Be a Baby to Cry remains a fragile, tender gem among the year's one-hit wonders. Number 13, Mockingbird by Inez Foxx with Charlie Foxx. Sometimes simplicity is the secret to success. In 1963, siblings Inez and Charlie Foxx took the old nursery rhyme Hush Little Baby and transformed it into a soulful call-and-response duet called Mockingbird. Their playful back and forth gave the track a fresh spark that felt both familiar and brand new. Released in the summer, it soared to number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's catchy rhythm and vocal chemistry made it an instant sing-along favorite, especially for couples. Though the Foxx duo continued recording, they never matched the impact of this hit. Mockingbird lived on through famous covers by Carly Simon and James Taylor, as well as Aretha Franklin, but the original remains a snapshot of 1963's inventiveness, a children's rhyme reborn as a pop soul classic. Number 14, Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport by Rolf Harris. 1963 also saw the charts make room for novelty from far beyond America.
Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down.
Australian entertainer Rolf Harris brought a cheeky folk pop number called Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport, complete with wobbling rhythm and playful lyrics about life in the outback. Originally released in Australia a few years earlier, the song finally reached US ears in 1963 and climbed into the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Keep me cockatoo cool, cool. Keep me cockatoo cool.
Its quirky use of homemade instruments like the wobble board gave it a distinctive sound that stood out on American radio. Although Harris remained a household name in Australia and the UK, this was his only significant US hit. Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport is remembered today as one of the era's oddest one-hit wonders, a lighthearted slice of Australiana that briefly captured global attention. Number 15, Cast Your Fate to the Wind by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. In 1963, an instrumental track managed to break through the sea of pop vocals. Jazz pianist Vince Guaraldi and his trio released Cast Your Fate to the Wind, a breezy, melodic piece that blended West Coast jazz with pop sensibility. Its relaxed swing made it perfect for both casual listening and late-night radio. The single surprised many by climbing to number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it went on to win a Grammy Award for Best Original Jazz Composition. For Guaraldi, it opened doors. Soon he would become beloved as the composer of the Peanuts television specials. But as a chart hit, Cast Your Fate to the Wind stood alone. It remains a rare moment when pure jazz slipped into the mainstream and found a mass audience. And that wraps up our journey through 15 unforgettable one-hit wonders from 1963. From soulful ballads to surf guitars, from novelty camp letters to foreign language smashes, each of these songs caught lightning in a bottle, then slipped away as the pop world moved on. Together, they paint a vivid picture of a year perched on the edge of change, just before the British invasion swept across the charts. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these was your favorite? And did we miss any forgotten gems from '63? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more musical time travel.